What I'm about to share with you has been kept hidden for over 2,000 years. The truth about your divine nature, a truth so powerful that religious institutions have spent centuries trying to bury it. But today, we're going to uncover what they don't want you to know. You see, most of us were taught that Genesis tells a simple story. God created everything in 6 days, made Adam and Eve, and that was that. But here's what your Sunday school teacher never told you. There are actually 2 completely different creation stories in Genesis, and they contradict each other in ways that will shake your understanding of everything you thought you knew about your own origins. In the first version, God creates man and woman simultaneously. They're equals, made in the divine image. But then, just a few verses later, we get a completely different story, one where Eve comes from Adam's rib. Why would an inspired divine text contain 2 conflicting accounts? The answer will change how you see yourself forever, but it gets even more shocking. Hidden in ancient texts that the church tried to destroy, there's evidence of something that will turn your world upside down. Before Eve, there was another woman, one so powerful and dangerous that her very existence had to be erased from history. Her name was Lilith, and her story reveals a truth about your divine nature that religious authorities have desperately tried to keep hidden. What I'm about to reveal isn't just some academic theory. It's about you, your true identity, your divine power. The real reason why certain religious institutions have worked so hard to keep you from discovering who you really are. You see, the Genesis story isn't just about creation, it's about control. And once you understand what these ancient texts really say, you'll never see yourself the same way again. The evidence is hidden in plain sight in texts that predate the Bible by thousands of years. Texts that tell a very different story about humanity's true origins. These ancient texts reveal something even more shocking. The Sumerians, one of humanity's oldest civilizations, left us detailed accounts of our true origins. And what they described isn't just different from the Bible's version, it's revolutionary. They spoke of beings called the Anunnaki, who came from the heavens and created humans. But here's where it gets interesting. They didn't create us to rule over Earth like Genesis claims. They created us to serve them. Think about this for a moment. The oldest civilization in recorded history tells us we were engineered by advanced beings who literally descended from the sky. Is it any wonder the church tried to suppress this knowledge? The Sumerian tablets describe these beings in incredible detail. Their appearance, their technology, even their genetic manipulation techniques. And the most fascinating part? Modern science is starting to confirm parts of their story. When archaeologists first discovered these ancient texts, they were stunned. The Sumerians possessed knowledge that should have been impossible for their time. Advanced mathematics, astronomy, and even details about planets that weren't discovered until thousands of years later. How did they know these things? The answer might shock you. The Sumerians claimed the Anunnaki shared their knowledge with certain chosen humans. They taught them about the stars, about mathematics, about the true nature of creation. But this knowledge came with a price. The Anunnaki wanted humanity to remain in a state of controlled development. They didn't want us to realize our full potential. This is where the biblical story of the Garden of Eden takes on a whole new meaning. What if the serpent wasn't offering sin, but salvation? What if the forbidden fruit was actually the key to unlocking our true divine nature? The knowledge that would free us from our role as servants. The Sumerian texts describe a rebellion, not just of humans against their creators, but of certain Anunnaki who believed humanity deserved to know the truth. They wanted us to understand our true origins, our true potential. These rebel Anunnaki were later demonized, transformed into fallen angels in religious texts. But here's what's truly mind-blowing. The Sumerians wrote that the Anunnaki created us by combining their own DNA with that of early humans. They literally encoded their divine essence into our genetic makeup. This means that divinity isn't something we have to earn or achieve. It's literally written into our DNA. Modern genetic studies have discovered something fascinating. There are parts of our DNA that scientists call junk DNA because they can't figure out what it does. But what if this isn't junk at all? What if these are the dormant genes of our creators, waiting to be activated? What if the power of the gods is already inside us, just waiting to be awakened? The implications are staggering. We're not just random creations. We're not born into sin. We're beings of immense potential, carrying the genetic legacy of advanced beings within our very cells. The church doesn't want you to know this, because it changes everything. It means you don't need them to connect with the divine. That power is already within you. And this is just the beginning. The Sumerian texts speak of a time when humanity will finally awaken to its true nature, when we'll remember who we really are and reclaim our birthright. That time might be closer than you think, closer. Now let me share something that will fundamentally change how you see your connection to the divine. In ancient Jewish mysticism, particularly in the Kabbalah, there's a hidden teaching about creation that the mainstream religious institutions don't want you to know. They've kept this knowledge hidden because it reveals a truth so powerful about your own divine nature that it threatens their very foundation of control. You see, according to these ancient mystics, God didn't create the universe alone. In fact, the process was far more complex than we've been told. The divine force had to actually fragment itself into different aspects, known as the Sephirot, to bring our world into being. Think about that. The very act of creation required God to divide and transform. Why would an all-powerful being need to do this unless there was something more to the story? But here's where it gets really interesting. These mystics taught that before our current universe, God attempted creation multiple times. Previous worlds were created and destroyed because they couldn't contain the divine light. They literally shattered under the weight of divine power. Our universe isn't the first attempt, it's simply the one that survived. This knowledge changes everything we think we know about our purpose here. According to these teachings, we're not just passive creations, we're active participants in the ongoing process of creation itself. Every choice you make, every action you take, is literally helping to complete and perfect the universe. You're not just a creation, you're a co-creator. The evidence for this is hidden in plain sight within your own consciousness. Haven't you ever felt that deep inner knowing that you're meant for something more? That unexplainable sense that you're connected to something greater than yourself? That's not just your imagination, it's your divine nature trying to awaken. But there's an even more profound truth here. These mystics taught that God had to contract himself to make space for our universe to exist. This means that emptiness, that void you sometimes feel inside, it's not a flaw. It's literally the space God created within himself for you to exist, to grow, to create. Your very existence is proof of divine love and purpose. This is why certain religious institutions have worked so hard to keep this knowledge hidden. They don't want you to know that you carry divine creative power within you. They don't want you to realize that you don't need their permission or their intermediaries to connect with the divine. The power has been within you all along. Think about those moments in your life when you felt truly aligned with your purpose, when everything seemed to flow effortlessly. Those weren't just random good days. They were moments when you were naturally tapping into your divine creative power. The same power that helped shape the universe flows through you. And here's something even more incredible. According to these ancient teachings, the universe is still in the process of creation. It's not finished. We're living in what the mystics called the world of fixing. Every time you choose love over hate, creation over destruction, truth over lies, you're literally helping to repair and perfect the universe. But this is just the beginning of what these ancient mystics knew about your true nature. There's an even more shocking truth about why certain texts were removed from religious teachings and how this hidden knowledge connects to modern scientific discoveries about human consciousness. And now, let me reveal something that will completely transform how you see yourself and your place in this universe. Remember Lilith, the woman who was erased from biblical history. Her story holds the key to understanding your own divine power. But it's not what you might think. You see, Lilith wasn't just Adam's first wife. She was the first human to recognize and claim her divine nature. Created from the same earth as Adam, she was his equal in every way. But when she refused to submit, to play the role of a subordinate being, something extraordinary happened. She didn't just leave Eden, she transcended it. The ancient texts tell us that Lilith spoke the sacred name of God, and in doing so, she activated something within herself, something that exists within you too. This wasn't just an act of rebellion, it was an awakening. She understood what the Sumerian texts and Kabbalistic mystics had been trying to tell us all along, that divinity isn't something external, it's coded into our very being. Think about this. Why would religious authorities go to such lengths to erase Lilith from history? Because she represents what they fear most. A human being who realizes their true divine nature and refuses to be controlled. They replaced her story with that of Eve, created from Adam's rib, dependent and subordinate. But the truth couldn't be completely hidden. Modern science is now discovering what these ancient texts have been telling us all along. Researchers have found that human DNA contains vast amounts of information that they still can't explain. They call it junk DNA, but what if it's actually the dormant code of our divine potential? What if Lilith's awakening is a blueprint for our own? The Kabbalistic concept of tikkun olam, repairing the world, takes on a whole new meaning when we understand this. We're not just here to fix what's broken, we're here to activate what's been dormant. Every time you question the limitations others have placed on you, every time you reach for something greater, you're following in Lilith's footsteps. You're beginning to awaken. This is why I'm sharing this knowledge with you now. We're living in a time of great awakening, where the ancient truths are finally coming to light. The power that Lilith discovered, that the Sumerians wrote about, that the mystics preserved, it's stirring within humanity once again. You feel it, don't you? That deep knowing that you're meant for more than what you've been told. That's not just hope or wishful thinking. It's your divine nature calling you to awaken. The same power that shaped the universe flows through your veins. It's time to remember who you really are. If this information has resonated with you, you're not alone. More and more people are awakening to these truths every day. Share your thoughts in the comments below. How has this knowledge changed your perspective? What aspects of your divine nature are you beginning to recognize? Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. We're just scratching the surface of these ancient mysteries, and I'll be sharing more hidden truths that will help you unlock your divine potential. Together, we're not just discovering history, we're awakening the future that was always meant to be. Remember, you're not just a creation, you're a creator. The power of the divine isn't just around you, it's within you. It's time to claim your birthright.